Alright, obiswa for movie bia kwa ban famra two kings and blossom e YouTube so say obiswa ba ensem ahodo a e koso no ana de besema hwefo nyina me kese ndi tenya se info bi adrop ensem ahodo bi aba betodwa bisua we ano de ne pan yi open kese fense Kwesi Pratt ana bisua odo nsemi aba betodwa ebekọ nyakwa akọje nsem nya enchirimu ansana no obu ene ni de kwa se wonya subscribe from my YouTube channel ya na do nsa bo subscribe button so we are na the bell notification icon so to serebe next time bia no a drop video our channel so on sebeka video bi and then so ebisa de tenya say open kesi ya chirim NPP party na da hono no o se chese plans nyoma hudu bia omo yeye kukuam esuma se omo pese omo ya se be yom bitimi e de eye NDC eye omo plans ana se nyoma hudu ma hyehye no abana wie no o se entimi amam se na there is no way se bitimi so abem wakasa wakanse mibre na o se sisi no nyoma hudu a enkoso no e wo NDC aban mu no obobo aman hodo bi NHS ntokwa hodo bi a ekoso no wachechim wode nsem ato nsem ani a mepese beko akodi sanse mina enchimu ere abamidin ere kwa ambiente
is superior. Living in peace after this program, we walk down and walk to our cars and so on. Honorable, you completely misunderstand the world situation. You completely misunderstand it. As a result of what is happening, this aggression that Israel is waging against Iran, our government has decided to suspend the implementation of the levy imposed on fuel, which have enabled us to retire $4 billion worth of debt in the power sector. Do you know the implications of that? The implications of that is that this country may, at a later time, not be able to produce electricity. That means the collapse of our industries, the collapse of our educational institutions, the collapse of our hospitals and everything. So what is happening may appear to be between Israel and Iran, but has devastating consequences on us. And in any case, the nuclear scientists tell us that if they manage to find the right weapon and attack the nuclear facility at Fudan, the environmental consequences would affect everybody in the world. Every nation in the world will suffer. So it is not true that we are insulated from what is happening there. The consequences would affect us. And that is why it is important for us to speak loudly and clearly that this nonsense must stop. That no nation is superior. That the sovereignty of one nation is not inferior to the sovereignty of another nation, and so on. We must insist upon that. Now, you see, people talk about the right of Israel to exist, and so on. Now, when you are talking about the right of Israel, what geographical dimension are you talking about? Which country is Israel? Israel is the only country in the world which has no fixed borders. You want to challenge that? The only country in the world which has no fixed borders. Every day, every week, every month, every year, it keeps expanding its borders. You understand? So when you are talking about the state of Israel, what is that geographic entity you are referring to? Because as we speak, the Israelis have a plan to annex part of Gaza and add to their territory. As we speak. And this whole thing that is happening in Ghana is about the annexation of more land. Clear, they've said that clearly, they want more land to expand the state of Israel. You understand? Is this something which we should accept? Look, Israel has killed more journalists than have been killed in any war in history. That's also a fact. That's a fact. They've killed more journalists than have been killed in any war in history. They deliberately attack journalists and kill them. And the impunity. And they do it, they don't even hide. They do it so openly and so on. You see, for those of you who support this Zionist regime and so on. I mean, I can't help but pity you. Last week, did you read the statement which was made by the Israeli ambassador in Ghana? How did you feel when you read that statement? Has no respect for our government. Honorable, he has no respect for your government. He has no respect for your president. The Israeli ambassador to Ghana actually calls the press and tells the press that he's disappointed in the government of Ghana. He's disappointed in the government of Ghana. What is the basis of his disappointment? One, that our government pursues a non-aligned policy. And as far as he, the Israeli ambassador, is concerned, Ghana should not be a non-aligned state. And that Ghana should defer the non-aligned movement. What effrontery. He doesn't end there. This Israeli ambassador says that he knows that Ghana belongs to the African Union. But we should not listen to the African Union. We should break ranks to the African Union. What impunity? What arrogance? And then he goes on and says we should have nothing to do with the Arab League and so on. This natty Israeli ambassador in Accra wants to dictate to President Mahama how he should run his foreign policy, how he should run his government. He feels emboldened. You know, he's so big, he's bigger than Mahama, he's bigger than the NDC, he's bigger than our parliament and so on. And you want to support this? Unbelievable. And this arrogance finds expression in everything they do. This belief that they are specially chosen by God is the fundamental thing when it comes to Israeli policy. In any case, Sana, let me say something. Sana, look, the Israelis, not all the Israelis, I mean the Zionists who are in power in Israel, have constantly been insulting God. Take it from me, they have constantly been insulting God. They claim that God created all of us, and after creating all of us, decided to select this small number of Zionists in Israel as his chosen people against the rest of us. Don't you think that that's an insult to God? I mean, what kind of a God will create the world and all its people, including Filipinos, including Argentines, including Brazilians, including Arabs, including Zulus, and so on, Fantis and Ashantis, and so on. And after creating this beautiful mosaic of people and so on, decide that I will support only a small number of them, less than 10 million of them. They are the people I will support against the rest. What kind of God is that? That God must be very partial. That God must be very unfair. So if you believe in this theory of the chosen people, that is how you think. If you believe in this theory of the chosen people, you are insulting God. You think that God is partial, God is not fair, and so on. Think about it. In any case, all those of you who every now and then want to go to Israel for religious pilgrimage and so on, Senna, do you know the birthplace of Jesus, where Jesus was actually born? Do you know that it is not in the modern day Israel? It's in Palestine. So Jesus was Palestinian. Jesus the Christ was Palestinian. He was not an Israeli, he was Palestinian. You understand? Not just that. The Church of Nativity, that is the church which was built on the manger where Jesus was born. It's in Palestine. Do you know something? Pope Francis, before he died, the Pope who recently died, was on telephone call on a daily basis with Gaza. Go and check. expressing his solidarity with Gaza and so on. Why? There are more Christians in Palestine than there are in Israel. More Palestinians are Christian than Israelis are. This is a fact. You understand? And indeed, there are a lot more Muslims who are citizens of Israel. So this whole confusion and so on, where is it coming from? It comes from ignorance. Ignorance of the facts. Ignorance of religion. Those who read the Bible upside down, they read the Bible upside down and come to all kinds of unrealistic conclusions and so on. But you see, now we don't have all day. We don't have all day. So let me say that war has consequences. And one of the consequences of war is untold suffering, usually for the vulnerable, not the powerful people, not the people in power. You understand? One of war's consequences is suffering of the vulnerable people in our societies and so on. So, to the extent that it is possible, we must do everything possible to avert war. This particular war has been said by the Secretary General of the United Nations, has been said by all the prominent leaders of the world, can lead to a thermonuclear third world war, whose consequences will be felt by everybody in the world. This particular reckless war that Israel has started can lead to a thermonuclear third world war. This war has already started affecting our pockets and our well-being and so on. We must do everything possible to bring this war to an end as quickly as possible. And the way to do that is to call a spade a spade. The way to do that is to organize massive solidarity with the victims of this aggression. The way to do that is to end Israeli aggression everywhere. The way to do that is to struggle for the restoration of the rights of the Palestinian people. The way to do that is to support the two-state solution that the whole world, including the United Nations, agrees is the way forward. Now listen, why? Yasser Arafat and Yitzhak Rabin sat down and to the displeasure of many people and so on, signed the Oslo Accord, which guaranteed the establishment of an independent state of Israel with security guarantees, alongside the establishment of an independent state of Palestine with security guarantees and so on. The solution to the problem was found by Yasser Arafat and Yitzhak Rabin, Prime Minister of Israel. What happened after that? People like Benjamin Netanyahu and hawks in Israel killed Yitzhak Rabin. They killed Yitzhak Rabin to destroy that agreement, which would have saved the situation. We are here because Israeli hawks killed Yitzhak Rabin because they didn't want a two-state solution. Recently, Benjamin Netanyahu said that the two-state solution would never happen. It would be over his dead body and so on. They killed Yitzhak Rabin. They killed their own prime minister because he was voting for peace and so on. Now, if they can kill their own prime minister because he was looking for peace, who can they not kill? Let us be realistic. This war must come to an end as quickly as possible. And the way to